Hi, guys. Happy Tuesday. I hope you've had an amazing day. I will be honest, I don't have a lot planned for today, but I thought I would bring back up a topic that I've talked about around this time every year. So, first, let me just acknowledge that life is crazy busy for me. I'm struggling to keep up, and that's why I'm struggling to keep up with the Tuesday content here, but it's going to get better. I'm finishing up a certification course through the Nutrition Network, which is a great organization that helps providers and other people learn. We're finishing up here at DMA Weight and Wellness, and I'm doing ClearPath consults all at the same time. This week was my daughter's 10-year-old birthday, so she turned 10 yesterday. Happy birthday, Willow. It was an amazing time. She was not ready to turn 10. Those double digits were really hard on her. I'm loving the fall. Fall is my favorite time of year. I hope it's your favorite time of year. I was even feeling festive in the fall spirit today. I've got my plaid on, my pumpkin earrings, jeans in the clinic, and boots, jeans and cowboy boots, just because I was feeling more fall-like and relaxed. And when I started feeling this way, it immediately made me start thinking about holidays. And those are tricky times. They're tricky times for anybody, but tricky times for people who are trying to live healthy lives and make changes and stay on track with those changes. And I've done a couple of videos in the years past on this, but I thought I would just come on and chat about it for a minute. And if you are listening and you have a random question or a thought about holiday times or something else, put it up in the comments and I will try to answer it. I'm not really good at that yet, but I'm getting better. My friend Kim Berry is teaching me how to multitask, and yeah, I'll figure it out one day. So holiday times, tricky, slippery slope. Now, as most of you, if you've known me for a while, you know that my story was that I had obesity as a child, on and off, up and down on my weight in adulthood, up until about the age of 30. And I am now in my mid 40s, and I've been weight stable for approximately 14 years. Take out the time that I was pregnant with my daughter, but I very quickly got back on track when I was after that pregnancy. And so I've been through multiple holidays, and I've been through multiple ways of trying to deal with holidays and staying on track. I know the first 5 to, I don't know, 6 years that I was on a low carb keto plan, I took holidays off. I took them as true holidays. I'm taking a holiday from my diet. Now, I do not advise this. One, it did not go well for me. It actually crashed and burned quite well every single year. So the first thing I want you to realize is your health doesn't take a holiday. Your body doesn't take a holiday. And every cheat meal, every cheat weekend, every cheat holiday does cause damage and inflammation to the body. And in the Nutrition Network class that I'm in, I actually learned that the damage and inflammation caused from one cheat meal hangs around for up to 16 hours. So you can feel that puffiness, that bloat, that pain from one cheat event for up to 16 hours. So if you take the whole November, December off from your being on track, you're really giving a lot of chance to wreak havoc and cause damage in your body. So I don't encourage cheat meals. But the other thing, and why it crashed and burned for me, is because I would get a taste of those things that I knew I couldn't moderate. They would hit that little pleasure center of my brain, and off to the races we go. And I'm not just off track for a meal, I'm off track for 2 months. And then come January, I've gained 10 pounds and I'm trying to crawl myself back into the nutrition plan that I knew had worked well for me to get me where I was going. So that's why I think it is a slippery slope, because it is that way. You have triggers coming from every direction during holiday time. We see them on TV, the sounds, the sights, the smells, all of it can trigger you to want to eat. And it's better just to not have that first bite, because that first bite is typically never enough to satisfy you and you have to keep going. So that's option one. You can take a holiday off. I don't recommend it. Didn't work out well for me. And after about 5 years, I finally got smart enough to realize I can't do that. So then I tried to apply the science. And this is something we teach in the clinic, because I realize not everybody is going to be perfect and it's not going to follow the perfect dietary strategy every day. We don't expect perfection. We expect progress. So this was my progress. My next progression was, all right, what does the science say about meals? Which tells me if I eat my protein first, I'm going to feel more full, and protein is good for me. So I call it eating like a toddler. I get my plate of food. I eat all of the protein first. I eat my turkey, I eat my ham, I eat my deviled eggs, things like that. And then I go with my non-starchy veggie next. So that might be the green bean casserole. It might be some raw veggie sticks. It might be a broccoli salad if it's made sugar-free. Most broccoli salad in the South is not sugar-free. It's probably one of the worst for you salads that you can have. So just FYI, if it's not sugar-free, don't go for the broccoli salad. I'd have the squash casserole. And then if I had a starchy thing, I would save my favorite starchy thing for last, which was always the dressing for me. And I would have a small portion of that. Or you can try what we call the 3-bite rule. You take a bite, you enjoy it. You take 2 more bites, you enjoy it. And then you push it away, walk away from it, pour salt on it, pour pepper on it, whatever it takes to get rid of that food. And I would do the same thing with desserts. I would have a little bite. But the idea is you're so full on protein and those non-starchy veggies that you're not going to overeat when it comes to the dessert and the starchy foods. And I did better with that plan. But I still would gain some weight and I would still struggle with cravings. So if I would get a taste of those things, the food noise would just become very loud and I would constantly be thinking about what I wanted to eat, where my next meal was coming from, how might I get that food again, kind of like an addict's brain. So I fully admit that I probably have some sugar addiction and it's best for me to do what I do now, which is what we're going to get at next. So remember, if you have a tip about a holiday or have a question about holiday eating or cheat days or anything, put them in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them and look over there. So what I do now and what I've eaten and how I've done this for the last 5 years with holidays is I do total replacement. So my Thanksgiving meal looks exactly like everyone else's traditional Thanksgiving meal, even though I would much rather have tacos for Thanksgiving. Who is with me on would just settle for some tacos? I would like tacos for any meal. It works for everybody's dietary plan. I can get high protein. I get satisfied. I'm a taco kind of person. But we have the traditional Thanksgiving meal. So we have the turkey, we have the ham, we have deviled eggs, we have all the sides. But I've changed them all and made them healthified. So I've taken the carbs out and I've substituted them. And you've seen some of those recipes come up on Facebook over the last couple months. I did the low carb, sugar free pumpkin cheesecake, which is my go to dessert. So I can have a big old piece of cheesecake, enjoy it, move on, not feel guilty about it. The first year I made this thing, everybody else in my family ate it and didn't realize it was sugar free and ate it right along there with me. So yeah, it's yummy and it's super easy because I like easy stuff. Instead of the crunchy French fries on top of the green bean casserole and the, what is it, the mushroom soup, I did some sort of mixture on the inside. I actually don't like green bean casserole, so I gave up on it. But then you can use the cheese wisp. You've seen them in the store, the WHISPS, cheese wisp. So you can put those crunchies on top. You can also use pork rind panko on top as a crunchy for the top of your green bean casserole, or just crunched up pork rinds on top. It does very well. But the dressing was always a kicker, and the mashed potatoes. So I tried what my daughter calls princess taters. We would take turnips and you boil them, and then you put sour cream and butter and all those kind of stuff in it. It did pretty good, but I'm not a huge red turnip fan. It didn't quite get all the taste out. White turnips did a whole lot better. But honestly, like I said, I'm a dressing girl. Give me that hands down every day for my Thanksgiving meal. I could probably make a meal out of dressing. And I tried several different, like Maria Emmerich's got some good dressings made out of her protein sparing bread, which is made out of egg whites, but it was too dry. Before I went completely grain free, I tried just low carb bread, and that is an option. Just make it out of the low carb breads over the counter. It's better than making it out of the regular bread. But I missed old school cornbread dressing. And if you're from the South, you know how good just the old school cornbread dressing is. It's what we call Larapin. So you just put a little bit of dressing on it, a little bit of turkey, and that's some good stuff. So last year I came across an interesting idea, which was making dressing out of pork rind panko. And I was like, no way. This is not going to taste good, not taste good at all. Holy moly. It tastes like regular cornbread dressing. So I use the Pork King Good pork rind panko. I think you can have it at Walmart. You can get it on Amazon. You can buy it straight from their website. You can use the original or the one with seasoning in it. But you make a loaf that is basically out of the pork rind panko, the mozzarella, and some eggs and some seasoning. You bake this loaf and it cuts up, slices up like cornbread. I'm thinking you could even make corn light bread out of it. So if you're from the South, you know what corn light bread is. It's kind of a sweet cornbread that you butter and fry it in the pan and make it all kinds of not wonderful for you, but this would be a good option. So I might have to try that sometime. But you make this, you chop it up, you let it dry, and then you saute your veggies. So I do celery, I do mushrooms, and I do onions, and I saute it in real butter, not fake butter, real butter. Mix it all together with your cornbread mixture, and then put in your pan. You pour over a mixture of chicken broth or bone broth, either one, with eggs that are kind of mixed up in it to make it all congeal. Bake it up, taste exactly like regular dressing. It hits the spot. And then when you make some gravy to go on top of it and throw some turkey, yes. And I can make a meal out of that and not do bad at all. So I leave that meal feeling full and satisfied, feeling totally full of holiday spirit because I had that wonderfulness that brings back all the memories. And then I go for a walk. Don't sit down right after you eat that meal. Get up, move around, get the blood flowing, get your brain cleared out. You won't go back for seconds if you're up and moving outside. And enjoy it. That brings me to the last part is what are holidays really about? Are they about the food? And I get it for a lot of people they are, but holidays are about the memories that you make with the people that you love and the people you're around. And that may be your friends, it may be your families, it may be your coworkers, it may be your puppy dog, but it is about those memories and making new ones and remembering the old ones, the people that aren't with us anymore, remembering the positive times that you had with them and feeling that love. And I think often we associate it with food because food hits the part of our brain and increases the same hormones that the feeling of love and warmth hit. And we're almost allowing that food to take the place of what we should be getting from those that are around us, our community. And it does make me kind of sad for people who don't have family and community. And no, maybe one year I'll just throw a Thanksgiving here at the clinic and have people over. If you don't have that community, that's something you should reach out and maybe look at for 2025. Who can you connect with so that next holiday you can get that sense of belonging, that sense of love, those good positive energy vibes to the brain from how we were designed, from connection with other people and not necessarily just from the food that you eat. Because that's what makes life happy at the end of the day is those memories and that connection. So I hope that you will make this holiday season a healthy holiday season so that you can enter 2025 full of energy and vitality with hope and just wanting to be a healthier person and not entering 2025 feeling dragged down with what we did to ourselves in November and December. So be kind to yourself, be kind to those around you. Also, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. There's a lot of social pressure, eat grandma's this or great Susie's this or something like that. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and say, no, I'm really working hard on being a healthy version of me so that I can be more present for you and for the other people that are in this room. And so I'm just going to choose not to eat that, or I'm going to choose to eat different, but I'm right here and I'm eating other things and we're having fun times together. Social situations they're tricky ones. And one of the things that did help me, as I'm just having my random thoughts here, there's the food gatherings where there's just the smorgasbord of different things. You've got your little weenies, you got your sauces, got your dips, all that kind of stuff. Always have something in your hand. Have a glass of water, sparkling water, something like that. Because when you're sitting around talking, and you're usually talking around the food table, before you even know it, if your hands are empty, food enters your hand and enters your mouth. And so that mindless eating takes place. But if you've got something in your hand and you're slowly sipping on it, you're less likely to reach for that. If you're bringing an added dish, bring something that you can have so that if you do eat, you can eat something that is more on track for your plan. I love to make little weenies and a sauce that is sugar-free. It's wonderful. I love me some good cheese trays. I love cheese balls, and I bring veggies to dip in it. So you can make those added dish things that are finger foods just as healthy as you can the other meals. So I think I'm about out of ideas, and I got to finish charting, and then I got to get to work on other things. And hopefully next week I'll have some brilliant study to share with you or whatnot. And if you're watching this after the fact, go ahead and put your comments in and let other people see how you deal with the holidays and the pressures that come with it and what you've found works for you. So I will see you hopefully again next week. Until then, stay healthy.